Imagine a
So
Nigerian coming
Fuse
to England
ODG,
and
let's see what
discovering
my guy's
Buckingham
talking
Palace
about
and
here.
deciding to call it Babatunde Palace. That just wouldn't happen. I just got back from Zambia and Zimbabwe. I stood before one of the most breathtaking views of nature I've ever seen.
there.
One of the
I've been
world's
there
biggest
before.
waterfall with a deep spiritual
there.
meaning. And in that moment, I felt an overwhelming sense of peace and pride. Pride that this wonder of the world exists in Africa. The locals call it Musitunya, meaning the smoke that thunders. But something just didn't sit right with me. Above the entrance was a statue of David Livingstone, the man credited with discovering what already existed for thousands of years and then renaming it Victoria Falls in honor of his queen who never even went there. Imagine a Nigerian coming to England and discovering Buckingham Palace and deciding to call it Babatunde Palace. That just wouldn't happen. Names carry power. We want our stories told from us, not about us. Because if you can't have our own names for one of the 7 natural wonders of the world, then what hope do our children have walking into rooms with confidence and being themselves if the world keeps rewriting who they are? That's why this is crucial. That's why we've joined forces with Raw. They work directly with local storytellers so real voices rise to the surface and the communities around Musitunya can lead their own stories.
We are supposed to carry our own identity, you know? That thing is Muso Otunya. It has got a significant name to us. Not just somebody from Europe just to come and give us a brand name, you know? This is what you should call it.
We'll feel good, we'll be proud that we are in power again. Right now we feel like we are not in complete power because we are using others' name in our own thing.
Some say that Victoria Falls is a better name to sell tourism, which is understandable, but that's only because it has been historically popularized. The fact is, Musitunya is a more powerful name because it tells the original story of the falls and not based on the journey of the explorer who named it. And in 2025, we have the power to make our local stories and names as mighty as the Musitunya Falls, and it all begins today. When we choose to call it Musitunya, we're not just using a name, we're reclaiming our history, restoring truth, and showing the next generation that our stories matter, that we matter. Together, let's trend Musitunya globally, proving that there's power in embracing who you are. So if you're Zambian, Zimbabwean, African, or someone who believes in reclaiming truth, let's help roar this name by trending it. Share it, learn it, say it. Let Musitunya be known on every timeline, every map, every mouth. Because if you ask the falls what her name is, she would answer in her local dialect.
ODG.
She would say Musitunya.
All right, yo, you got Musitunya. So this is interesting, right? So I'm definitely, I definitely support what he's talking about and what he's saying. So check it out, right? By the way, guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, kindly subscribe to the channel. Likes, comments, all appreciated. Last time I called out Namibia for this, but today Fuse ODG is calling out Zambia and Zimbabwe. Love it. So Southern Africa has a lot of influence, right? In terms of like snatching names, not even Southern Africa, or the whole of Africa, right? So I've been to Victoria Falls before, right? And first of all, this guy, David Livingstone, right? There's a place in Zambia called Livingstone. It's named after him, I believe. Very nice area, great resorts in that area, great sight to see. I've been there as well. It's called Livingstone in Zambia. But back to what Fuse is talking about. So yes, Victoria for now. David Livingstone, he is one of the greatest thing he's known for. Even if you like Google the name, Wikipedia, he's known for discovering Victoria Falls, naming the falls after his queen, just like Fuse mentions. Now, when I went to Victoria Falls, right, there's a statue of him there. And I think I've mentioned this in one of my videos as well. So while I was at Victoria Falls, there were people taking pictures with his statue. Now, as I've grown older, I do not take pictures with statues of people I don't know, because you don't know what these people stand for. Like, because history is wrong, especially statues in Africa. Like, you don't know. If you haven't done your research, don't be taking pictures with statues of people you don't know. Like, people were like taking pictures with this statue of this guy and stuff. Like, and I was curious. I said, who is this? They said, oh, he's the person that discovered, Victoria Falls. But a local Zambian was like, no, that this place was discovered already and it was called something. He came and changed the name and named it after his wife. And that is what history has taken. So what Fuse is talking about is very important. Names are important. Now, somebody might say, well, Musitunya doesn't sound attractive. Man, please, who cares? I mean, that's one of the things. They say, oh, Musutonia Falls. No, it's good. That should be what it should be. That's what it should be called. If that's what it was called. Africa needs to change a lot of things. And I'm going to make a video also. Now, I've heard the African Union is trying to rewrite the map of Africa as well. They're advocating for that. These are things that need to be done. And I think that as new leaderships comes into Africa and as people begin to understand and read history for itself, I think that is important for Africa to take ownership, for things to be renamed, because there's strength in name. Like who is Victoria? Like, who is that? Who is Victoria? We need to know who this Victoria is, because if you've been to Victoria Falls, it's remarkable. It's remarkable. And for that to be taken away from Africans, knowing that it was already named, this Musutonia that he's talking about, and just ripping that away from the people of Zambia. I think even the Zambian government by now, they should have renamed all those things, taken away that statue and kind of like revamped all these things, you know? So I totally agree with him. I mean, what do you guys think? Are you Zambian? Like, what is happening in Zambia? And if you're Zambian and you're listening, are there things really happening to actually rename these things, to take it back to what it was called before? Because I think it's ludicrous that all these things are still going on and people are still calling it Victoria Falls. And this guy is like, that is his main accomplishment, is discovering Victoria Falls, which he didn't discover. It was there already. It was named. People were already going there. And he just came and said, oh, I'm going to call this after my wife, because he felt like people who, the Africans there were illiterates and didn't know what they were doing. That's why, he had the power to do that. So, yeah, man, say Musutonia. If that's what it's called, I'm all for it. I'm all for this. Like, you go to African countries, there's so many things that Africans can't even pronounce. If you go to Namibia, like the Germans, like German names everywhere, streets, you can't even pronounce it. But if you come here, if you come to the West, if you go to Europe, you're not seeing African names on streets. You're not seeing that. So yeah, I think it's right. I think what the initiative that Fuse is going. I mean, guys, support that. Say Musutonia. Zambians support it. Go full force. Change that. Change it to Musutonia Falls. Musutonia Falls. And that statue there, put the statue of the guy or whoever, of the lady who is the person that the Victoria Falls is named after. And change the name Livingstone, that city, change it to a Zambian. Whoever is the person that discovered that city in Zambia, change the name too. That's what Africa should be doing. Guys, let me know what you think. Again, if you're from Zambia, let me know what you think about this. Guys, your comments, subscribe to the channel. This is Food Chest. Peace.